Hi everyone, welcome to the TTSD boardroom at the district office. My name is Ben Bowman. I'm the chair of the Tigard-Tualatin School Board, and I'm excited to be joined by Dr. Marvin Lynn, one of the new school board members and the new vice chair of TTSD. Marvin, how are you doing today?
I'm great.
Awesome. So first, Marvin, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what your professional background is, that kind of thing?
Yes, so I'm originally from Chicago, born and bred. My family primarily is from Mississippi Delta region and arrived in the city of Chicago in the 60s. And so I was born in the early 70s, and so that's where I am from. I'm an educator by trade. I started my career as a second grade teacher, believe it or not.
Okay.
Also had an opportunity to teach third grade, and I taught a little bit of middle school. And then I wound up back at UCLA working on my doctorate. And so after I finished my doctorate in 2001, I went right into higher education. And so I've been a professor and an administrator since 2001.
So what about your family? Who's the Lynn family?
So it's me, my wife, my mother-in-law is also there, and then my three boys. Kwabena graduated from Tualatin High School in 2019. And he's now going to be a junior at the University of Oregon. He runs track. He's very proud of that. He's also on the dean's list, so he's an academic and a scholar. Proud of him. And then Naseh is at Tualatin currently. He's a rising junior. He is a member of the ASB. He was elected, and he also is a member of the Tigard-Tualatin Student Union. And so he's a very engaged, very involved student. I should say he also plays football, and he would probably want you to know that he was the MVP for Defensive Player of the Year this past year.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, yeah. And then my third child is Sydney. Sydney is right now a rising 8th grader at St. Anthony's, and he has decided, and he made this decision himself. So we're excited that he's going to go to Tualatin.
No kidding.
High school. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, we're excited about that, and he also is involved in basketball and football, and he made the Junior National Honor Society this year. So we're really fortunate with our boys, and I think a lot of their success has to do with living here in this supportive community, so we're thrilled.
What was your favorite memory from being a student growing up in Chicago, or an educational experience that stands out in your mind as something that was really positive and made you obviously dedicate your life to education as a profession?
I was very blessed to have amazing teachers who, as I always say, stood in the gap for me.
What does that mean, stood in the gap?
I'm a kid who came from very modest means. My parents sometimes struggled economically, and they struggled sometimes with substance abuse. And as a kindergartner, I missed 40 days of school. Looking at that now, thinking, how did that happen? But I had a kindergarten teacher who was very loving and very caring. Yeah. And when I did show up, just took me right in, and as one of her own children, really. And saw my potential and said, you're going to be fine, right? And I had teachers like that all the way through. I was so blessed, even up to my senior year in high school, and even in college and beyond.
So you just went back to Chicago with your family. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering, have you talked to your mom? Like, what does your mom think about, now you've sort of reached the pinnacle of public education as a university professor, dean. What does she think about the journey that you've been on in your life?
She's very proud, but what's interesting about my mom and people that knew me as a kid is they say I'm not surprised, because for whatever reason I always wanted to be an educator, probably because of those educators who cared for me, and I sort of saw myself in them. Mm-hmm. And I always aspired to be a part of the field of education. Even as a 10-year-old kid, I was walking around in Oxford shirts and ties, and
no kidding.
Even as a kid without a lot of resources, I don't know how I could afford it, but I look at my 8th grade class picture, and there I am with my tie on and my long sleeve shirt, and I'm the only kid in the class dressed that way. So, and part of it was church, because I was a church kid, and you had to dress up to go to church. Right. So I guess that was an excuse I had for my mom to buy me those kinds of clothes, but. She's very pleased, but she'll tell you she's not surprised, because education was always a goal
Well, any final message or words for the TTSD community that you'd like to share?
Well, I'm just happy to be the first African American school board member in the history of the district, I understand. Right. And, you know, while I'm a big advocate for equity and inclusion and social justice, you know, and of course I've done work around race, I'm also a strong proponent of making sure that the school district has a variety of very strong, high-level academic programs. I'm a big proponent of gifted and talented. I'm a big proponent of the athletic program, right? And so I know some of the moves that have been made recently around trying to make sure that there's broader access to athletics in terms of decreasing costs for students and families. I'm a big proponent of that. So I have a wide variety of views and perspectives. And
well, thank you for sitting down for the interview. I'm very excited to serve on the board with you. And for folks listening, thanks for tuning in. The TTSD School Board has a page on the TTSD website, so check out our webpage. Our board meetings are on Monday evenings, usually twice a month. You can check out the meeting schedule on the website. But thanks again for listening, and we'll see you soon.